Hey gamers, Maniac here with GameXS.net doing another date night. Now, oh god, maybe I should have left my hat on. I just saw Ghostbusters Afterlife in the theaters, and I've got a bunch of stuff I want to say about it right now. One, you're going to want to know what my background with Ghostbusters is. I became a fan of Ghostbusters around 1989, 1990. Don't quote me as to when. I remembered watching the cartoon show when I was in kindergarten. I saw Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters film, on VHS rental. I saw Ghostbusters 2 when it made it to Showtime or HBO. Don't quote me on that. And years and years later, I still hold those films up with very high regard. It became my go-to movies to watch before even Back to the Future, which were before when I became interested in Star Wars and Star Trek. So I guess you could say I went through phases as a child. You know, I appreciated Ghostbusters. As I got a little bit older and I became a slightly older child, I loved Back to the Future. As I became a early teen, I was a fan of Star Wars, and as I became a teen, I became a fan of Star Trek, and the rest is history, basically. So I do have an appreciation for Ghostbusters. And can I be honest with you, I loved the Ghostbusters extended universe. While I never read the comics, I was a fan of the original Deke cartoon series, The Real Ghostbusters. I also played Ghostbusters, the video game, 2009, day one, when it came out for the PlayStation 3, and obviously other platforms. But I remembered playing that game and enjoying quite a bit. I also loved the Ghostbusters fan films done by Hank Braxton, which I thought were great. Freddy vs. Ghostbusters and Return of the Ghostbusters. Great films. Props to Hank for making those. So, how did I feel about this movie after having watched it one time? I want to watch it again. That's my initial reaction. I definitely enjoyed it enough for a second, at least a second review. I want to watch it again. Maybe not in theaters. Maybe I'll pick it up on home video. But I definitely want to rewatch it. There was a lot of interesting things about it that I really liked. This was clear that this movie was going in a different direction, obviously, because we got Jason Reitman to direct it as opposed to the original. To write and direct it, as opposed to the original director, his father. But that didn't bother me, because whereas the first movies were about a bunch of working guys, you know, sticking it to the system, and the comedies of what it's like to be a regular class working Joe, this was basically like The Goonies, or the original, the first part of It. This was a child's adventure, a kid's adventure story. It was not as funny, because these are not characters that have the sense of humor that the original Ghostbusters had. It followed, in a lot of ways, the same beats of the first movie, maybe a little too closely, but you know what? Enough time has passed. I'll let it slide. It's okay. It got to a point where obviously people who watched the very first Ghostbuster movies will probably have a better understanding of what was going on with it, or at least what it was happening. But I could definitely chalk that up more to COVID than anything else. There were clearly some moments in the film that either looked a little rushed or cut a little too much. And that could either be chalked to one of two possibilities. One, they either had an editor that was ordered to put the scissors to the movie just to chop down the runtime, in which case I hope by the time the home video version comes out, I hope that we get a director's cut or an extended cut. Or two, and this is honestly what I'm thinking, is the second possibility is that obviously the movie was being filmed and then COVID happened and they weren't able to get reshoots, or they weren't able to get the full scenes that they needed. They were only able to get what they did, and then they couldn't get again. Did I enjoy the movie? Yes. How did I feel about the movie? There were three things. One, this movie should have been made 10 years ago. So, again, FYI, I'm not going to do spoilers. And that's why I'm kind of talking about my feelings as opposed to the film and the beats and stuff like that. Like I said, the farthest I'll say is that it does follow the beats of the first movie. At least I feel it does. Where can they go with this? I would have been happy to have them if they had done Extreme Ghostbusters. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's on YouTube now, legitimately. I would have been happy if they had done that. They didn't go that route. They decided to tell another movie. Again, they were doing a Goonies type story, which is fine. It works with Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters, you can tell a story like that. However, I feel that if they're going to do another Ghostbusters movie, they should do Extreme Ghostbusters. This movie, I feel, if they want to do another one, whether it's with these characters, whether it's another, I really don't think they should do another reboot. There's no reason to do another reboot. This movie is fine. They don't need, please no more, no reboots. This you can build off this. You can reference this. And like I said, you can do Extreme Ghostbusters now. Please do Extreme Ghostbusters now. Heck, I want to see them do Extreme Ghostbuster with these characters. I'd be fine with that. I really would. Yeah. I mean, again, this movie should have been done a long time ago. I should be watching Extreme Ghostbusters right now. What does that tell you about my feelings about it? You can draw your own conclusions. But for me, after having watched this, I appreciated it. I want to see it again. I want to see another Ghostbusters film. I thought that the actors did a fine job. I felt there was no denouement. They saved the denouement for the post-credit scenes. The movie ends. And then they do the post-credit scenes. And for some movies that works, I think they kind of did it with Ghostbusters. It would have been nice to have seen a further denouement. That's my 2 cents about it. I guess we can see the denouement in the next picture. So, until next time, guys, my name is Maniac with GameAccess.net. Take care. Over and out.